Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Tuesday, the dreaded April 15th, 2025. Y'all in the United States know what I mean. And I hope you're safe and healthy today. I hope your family's safe and healthy. And I hope the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who every day are doing their best to save lives. Those also that pick up garbage, keep our places clean. And those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help, rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of pornography, prostitution, child prostitution, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, the profiteers, and the perverts that create the demands that cause these industries to exist. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. More than 600,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, and military veterans homeless in the United States of America. Blessings upon them. For theirs is the kingdom. As we're headed toward, now we know, Saturday, 6 o'clock, the Knicks going to be tipping off at Madison Square Garden against the Detroit Pistons. And this week, I decided I'm going to go through each of the key players of this Detroit series. And of course, we know, for example, there's certain givens. Two of them are Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson. You're going to have them perform at a pretty high level. Now, Brunson more than Towns. There have been games this year where Towns hasn't had the greatest games, and the Knicks have still won handily. Because if you get the other guys, like an OG, McCall, and Brunson especially, you get them rolling. And sometimes Towns could just be adequate and they could still win, especially now you got Mitchell Robinson out there. So Towns is very important, and we'll get to him. But today I wanted to discuss Deuce McBride. Deuce McBride can actually turn the series by himself, just him being him. I'm looking at Basketball Reference. If you look at all of the combinations that Deuce McBride plays with on the Knicks, the 5-man combinations, he is positive in 8 out of 10. The two he's not positive with, as far as the 5-man combination of Towns, Brunson, Bridges, and Achua, he's negative 13 with them. And then he's negative 7 with Achua, Bridges, Brunson, Hart, and McBride. That's negative. But he's played the most minutes with Towns, Hart, Bridges, and OG. That is the two bookends with Hart and Towns. He's positive 3. But the next one, it's OG, Brunson, Hart, McBride. So you have Brunson, Hart, McBride with OG and Towns. In other words, two big guys with 3 guards, they're plus 34. Okay? Which is why I know you're going to see Towns with Mitch Rob and Deuce and 2 other guards, Brunson, Sham. It's going to be 2 other guards, because that is a dynamite lineup. It really is a dynamite lineup. You have also Bridges, Hart, McBride, Payne. See, McBride, Payne, and Hart with Towns and Bridges, plus 26. Okay, then you go to the 4-man combinations. Deuce with Towns, Hart, and Bridges. That's the most minutes they played together, 365, plus 10. Okay, and it gets better. You know, Deuce with Hart, Towns, and Anunoby, plus 13. Okay, 300-something minutes together. So these combinations with Deuce, almost every combination you throw out there, he's positive. He's a positive influence. Quickly was like that when he was on the Knicks, which is why Quickly ended up getting a lot of minutes, you know, especially starting his rookie year. All of the combinations with him out there were positive. Okay, and so that's the same thing with Deuce. All the combinations with Deuce on the floor are positive. 3-man combinations, all 10 of the combinations that have Deuce on them are positive. The leading one was Deuce, McBride, Bridges, and Towns played 580 minutes together, plus 10. Hart and McBride are dynamite together. Hart, McBride, and Towns, plus 13. McBride, Hart, and Bridges, plus 9. Anunoby, Bridges, McBride, plus 12. Anunoby, McBride, and Towns, plus 9. So I can pretty much guarantee you, somebody said, I think Deuce is going to get 32 to 35. He might, because he plays both the point guard and the two guard, and he guards both the point guards and the two guards. He could even guard some three. But in Detroit, this is the way Detroit's three is Ausar Thompson. Now, Ausar Thompson is too big for Deuce under the basket. But they did take advantage of him with Cade Cunningham last time. That's because the overall team defense was horrible. You don't leave Deuce McBride on an island with Cade Cunningham, especially coming into the paint. You got to collapse, okay? So hopefully they do a better job with that. But Deuce on the floor in general is positive. His three-man combinations are all positive. His two-man combinations, McBride with either Bridges or Anunoby. With Anunoby, he's plus 11. With Bridges, he's plus 9. With Hart and McBride, he's plus 8. With Brunson and McBride, plus 6. So Deuce is going to be on the floor a lot, which is important because we want that positivity. But the thing is, and this is where a lot of Knicks fans that call themselves fans are completely missing the boat. What you want to know with any player, ask yourself, what is their effect on winning? That's what you want to know. What we're talking about here is plus minus. That's an effect on winning. If no matter who they are, no matter who you name, if the team is negative with them on the floor, I don't care what kind of all-star or all-NBA they are, if the team is negative, you don't want them on the floor. But if the team is positive, if they're beating their opponent by 9 points or 10 points or 30 points, you want that team on the floor as much as you can get it. Okay? So Deuce in all two-man combination, in all three-man combination, in 9 out of 10 four-man combination, in 8 out of 10 five-man combination, the Knicks are positive with him on the floor. So you're going to see him on the floor a lot. Plus, he has the ability to really affect the game when he's on. So this is here. One of the reasons you're going to see a lot of Deuce is because no matter what, he's always going to be on point defensively. No matter what, he could be shooting horribly, and he has at times. But he's always going to be on point with respect to defense. He's never going to slack on defense. He's always going to be out there, and that's why he's going to be out there a lot. So that's important. That's a given. It's almost like you expect Jalen Brunson to drop 25 a game in the playoffs, 30 probably. But that's a given. You're expecting that. You're expecting Karl Anthony Towns to come in the playoffs and get double-digit rebounds. That's given. You got to have that, okay? But then you got other variables. So with Deuce, the given is he's going to play tight defense. No doubt. He's going to play tight defense. Now, when Deuce scored in double figures for the Knicks during this past 24-25 season, whenever he scored in double digits, double figures, which is 30 games, he scored double figures. They're 22-8 when he scores double figures. When he gets at least 2 steals, which he's been doing a lot closing this season, they're 14-4. Okay, when he gets at least 2 steals. When he shoots 50% or better from 3, they're 14-5. And then when he gets at least 25 minutes a game, this is not as impressive, but it's still, when he gets at least 25 minutes a game, which happened 34 times this year, they're 21-13. So he's a winning player. That's what and at the end of the day, more than individual stats, does the guy help you win? We're going to talk about Mikal Bridges. That's his effect. That's why he was so important to obtain. He's a winning player, and he's positive on the floor, and you want him out there, and he wants to be out there. So with Deuce, this is the thing. If Deuce comes off the bench and he's shooting a lights out, it's going to be a good night for the Knicks. Period. If he comes off the bench and he is nailing that three-pointer, it's going to be a good night for New York. If he comes off the bench and he's like he did last couple games, you get 4 steals one game, 3 steals another game. If he's coming off the bench and he's thieving, it's going to be a good night for the Knicks. See, in that regard, he's a bellwether, right? So that's just understanding that you got a shot to win. If one player And he's not even your superstar. He's not even your high-priced dude. He's not your all-star, your all-NBA guy. But if this guy comes off the bench and he's shooting the ball well, you're going to have a good night. Okay, that's a good indication of a win right there. Okay, so you want Deuce to come in. You want him shooting that ball. You want him shooting it well. Now, even if he doesn't shoot the ball well, okay, so there were 34 games where there were 30 games where he had double figures. He only played in like 59 games. So that means there were 29 games, about half and half, where he didn't. Okay, so you want him coming off the bench and you want him shooting the ball well. Okay, if he's doing that, you're in good shape. Right, you're in good shape, especially if he's hitting at least 50% of his 3-pointers. Can't expect that from everybody all the time. That's a big high percentage from the 3, but he's done it. Okay, he did it 19 times this year. So if he is shooting the ball well off the 3, if he's scoring double digits, you're in good shape. Okay, you're in good shape overall. That's important. He's always going to be playing defense. That you can count on. That's one of the reasons that the Knicks are a playoff team. You got certain guys like Deuce that you know 100% of the time, anytime they're on the floor, tough defense is going to be played from the point of attack. Very important. Okay, what disappointed me in the loss to the Pistons last week is he's guarding Cade, right? Cade is 6 or 7 inches taller than Deuce, at least 6. He's 6 inches taller than Deuce, okay? When he's backing Deuce down, and that's what he was doing, you got to have some help come from the weak side. And you got to get that weak side help and get the ball out of Cade Cunningham's hand. And whoever's giving that weak side help, whether it's OG or Bridges or whoever, Hart, they got to sprint back. That's part of playing great defense. They did not do that against Detroit when they lost at least this last game. I don't remember if they actually did the other games they lost against Detroit. But that one, they should have done better there. They really should have done better there. If Deuce can fight you off, and this is the thing, you're really in the NBA level, if a guy can stay in front of his man for 5 seconds, and you should be able to get some help on that guy, and Deuce did that. He would stay in front of K for 5 seconds, but then K would get more time to back him down and get over the top, okay? You don't want to allow that. Very important that the Knicks double and get back. One of the best at it, aside from Deuce defensively, is Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson will double and get back to his man. The thing is, if you're expecting him to do that too often, in other words, if he got to do it because you're not guarding your man, that's a problem. That's a problem. Okay? So that's why Deuce is important. He can keep the perimeter for 5 seconds. Okay? He can keep it. He can hold it down and then give you a chance to help him and get back. Very important. So Deuce McBride becomes a key because if Deuce is shooting, they have a good night. If he is shooting very well, if he's playing heavy minutes, they got a good night. So I think it's a given. He's going to play 30 minutes a night in the playoffs, in this series. Okay, Deuce is going to get 30 minutes a night. Unless he's hurt, he's getting 30 minutes a night. Because he's going to be playing the 1, he's going to be playing the 2, he's going to be guarding both of them. He's playing 30 minutes a night. If he does that, and then he's shooting well, it's a good night for New York. Okay, it's a good night. So he becomes a key bench piece. Right, so we're going to go over other bench. We talked about Shamet yesterday. If Shamet is shooting the ball well, because Shamet's another guy that, one thing for sure, he's going to come off the bench and play great perimeter defense. He's going to do it. He's been doing it the whole season. So when he's healthy, he's going to come off the bench and he's going to play great perimeter defense. The question is he shooting the ball? Because if he's playing great perimeter defense and he's shooting the ball, see, he's not going to get more than I would say, if he's in the 8-man rotation, he probably get 20 minutes a night, okay? And that for him, that's a lot. He might get 20 minutes a night. But for Deuce, you need Deuce out there because he can guard 1s, he can guard 2s, and he can shoot. And he's a thief, right? He guards the perimeter, he guards the passing lanes, and he can just straight strip you. Okay, he does all of that. 6'9" wingspan, 6'1", very athletic, very tough. So he is a key here coming off the Knicks bench. And there's no question he's in the 8-man rotation. Okay, there's no question about that. So he's going to be with him and Mitch Rob. That's part of the 8-man rotation. The only question, we don't know if it's Shamet or Payne. I think most of us agree it probably will be Shamet because of his shooting ability consistently. Probably be Shamet. Okay, and he makes good decisions and he's always good on defense. Okay, so Deuce becomes a key. And so if we can get some a good series from him, it should be a good series for the Knicks. Y'all enjoy your Tuesday. Tonight, there's some important games on. We're going to find out who the 7th seed is. I'm thinking it's going to be Orlando. 7th seed plays Boston in the first round. 8th seed will find out sometime this week that the loser of the game between Orlando and Atlanta plays the winner of the 9-10 game between Chicago and Miami. And the winner of that game becomes the 8th seed. So we'll see. Tonight is winner go home for the 9 and 10 spot. So Chicago, Miami play tonight. Whoever loses, done. Period. Winner go home. And so whoever wins get a chance to become the 8th seed. Okay. Next game is winner go home too. So we'll see. It'll probably be, I think it's going to be Atlanta against Miami, but we'll see. We'll see how this works out. It's going to be interesting. But whoever is the 8th seed is going to play Cleveland, and whoever is 7th seed is going to play Boston, and we know the Knicks are playing the 6th seed. Y'all enjoy the games tonight. Enjoy your weekends. Shalom. Your weekend, sorry. Enjoy your week. Be safe out there. Shalom.